Hey ceramic students, Mrs. New here. Today we're back with another video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how to make handles for things like teapots or cups, things that are a little bit bigger projects. Not necessarily the trays, there's sort of a different video on how to do those kind of handles, but these are like bigger handles. So a handle like this for a mug, or a bigger handle for a teapot example. Let me try to grab one of those for you. So something like this. Sorry, I'm walking clear across the classroom, but something a little bit bigger for like a teapot or a mug, okay? So different kinds of handles, there are several, okay? So the first one, we're gonna start like with the easiest one. So the easiest one would be a slab handle. So I've rolled out a slab, it's not too thin. You could put it through the slab roller. I'm gonna comb it and make it nice and smooth, or I could do a texture mat on it or some stamping. I'm gonna use the width of a ruler, and that's going to be my handle. I could always make it a little wider than this if I wanted to. I could scoot this over and make it wider, but I usually use about the width of a ruler. That's about 1 inch wide, and you basically cut out a bacon strip, okay? And then I'm going to arc it, and you guys know that any handles, whether you're making a coffee cup or a teapot, they should be a half heart shape. Okay, so I'm going to cut at an angle like it would be touching the side of my cup or my teapot, a half heart shape. And again, if it was a coffee cup, it'd be smaller than this, but I'm kind of making them bigger for the example. So that is probably the easiest type of handle. And then you just slip and score it right onto your coffee cup or your teapot. I would take your fingers or a sponge and kind of blunt this edge off because it does get a little bit sharp. Okay, so that would be handle number 1. So I'm going to set that one aside, and then let's talk about a pulled handle. So that's another one that's really, really common. So what I do is I kind of start with a carrot shape. I kind of roll it in my hands like this. Okay, you're getting kind of this carrot shape. And then I get a big container of water, or you can do it in front of, like by the sink, okay? And I'm going to use this part of my hand right here, and I'm going to pull down. So it's kind of like, you know, milking a cow or something. You're just going to pull down, and I'm actually taking some of that clay from the top and pulling. I can also take my thumb and kind of go like this and leave this nice indentation there, which makes for a really comfortable handle. And I just make sure I keep getting my hand wet and kind of gliding this across, thinking about this handle shape, okay? Now this one gets pretty wet, so before you attach it, you might want to let it set up for a few minutes and get more leather hard. But that's looking pretty good. So again, I'm gonna cut it at an angle. Where's my angle? There's my angle. And make sure that you kind of shape it into that half heart shape. And you could make this one longer if it was for a teapot or something. This would be probably about right for a coffee mug. So that's a pulled handle, okay? So we've got a slab handle, a pulled handle. The next one that I like is just like a tapered coil. So again, I'm gonna take a kind of a piece of clay. I've already rolled it like this, and I'm gonna roll it on the table, starting from the inside, working my way out. And what I like to do is keep one side skinnier. So I'm actually pushing harder with one side of my hands. If it gets like funky, you can twist it opposite like a breadstick and then keep rolling, okay? And make sure that one side is getting thinner, okay? Another way to do that, and we're gonna do this with the next one, is to take some of that clay with a sponge and just kind of pull it down, okay? That's another way to kind of stretch that clay and pull it down, okay? And this is sort of a tapered coil. Now, if I wanted to, I could put some texture on this one. I could do my texture blocks. Remember, these are really fun. I could just press it in. This one's a little flat, so I could just press in a texture like this, and that would give me some texture on this, on the back and the front. And I could kind of shape it into a handle. Just when you're making handles, just think about the comfort of this. Like, is it going to be comfortable in someone's hand? Is it thick enough to support your cup or your teapot when it's filled with liquid? Right? Because when something's filled with liquid, it gets a lot heavier. So error always on the side of being too thick rather than too thin. Okay, so that's sort of a tapered coil. I kind of pulled it out as well. And then there's one also that I've learned that's called the slap carrot. So that one starts with a carrot shape. Same thing as kind of the pulled handle. You slap it on the table, and then same thing. You just take a sponge and you kind of pull it down, okay? This one's not quite long enough, so I'm gonna try it with this kind of bigger slap carrot over here. So you slap it, and then you sort of pull that. Now what I like about this one too is that This side is rounded like this, and then this side is flat. So it has a nice shape to it. If you need to slap it on the table again, you can. And just thinking about, you know, the comfort of this and how it's gonna feel in someone's hand, making sure it's big enough so that your hand doesn't get squished where there's hot liquid, right? You want there to be plenty of room for you to grab this teapot or this cup, because you don't want to burn your hand, okay? So that one's pretty nice. I kind of like that one. These two ended up looking a lot similar, but this would be really great for the teapot that I'm building right now, and it'd be about the perfect size. And remember too, you can always go in and trim if they seem a little long, okay? You can always go in and modify them. If you don't want the half heart shape, you can modify that too a little bit. You know, if you want more of a C shape or more of a square shape. Okay, but when you're thinking about handles, I really want you to think about the function of them, but also the form of them. So they need to be attractive, but also functional, okay? So let me show you some things that kids do sometimes, or beginning ceramic students of any age, actually. They kind of do this. I've seen a lot of these. So, and then they just kind of stick it on there. So, I mean, you can do better than that. At least try to smooth out your finger marks. I mean, unless that's really the style you're going for, you can smooth it out like this. Another thing I see students do is just really just make it too thin. That's one of the things. So I'll see them roll out a coil. It's just like thinner than this. And they'll have this big chunky teapot or whatever, and they'll have this wimpy little handle on there. And it's like, that's not gonna support this whole cup that's filled with water or coffee or whatever. So again, if you're wondering what to do, error on the side of it being too thick. I have seen students take like a thinner one like this, and then if you pick it up in the center and you twist it, you can do kind of a braided handle or a twisted handle. That would work a little bit better. At least it would be a little thicker. And these look really good actually on the tray projects. I see more of those for the trays when we do those. Anyway, just something to think about with your handles. Really taking your time smoothing, using that sponge, and really you know, stretching that clay out works really, really well. And if you're not successful making one, just come grab me and I'm happy to help you, but give it a try. Sometimes you have to make 2 or 3 before you get like a good one, okay? All right, have fun making handles. I'll see you guys later. Bye.